Star Wars at face value is a story of good versus evil, the Jedi versus the Sith. Yet, unlike most stories, the hero of the story isn't actually the hero at all, rather the man who brings about the redemption of the hero. This, in simple terms, is why Luke succeeded. Confused? Let me explain. To understand why the Jedi failed, you have to understand the problems they were already facing before the rise of Palpatine. In Star Wars Episode 1, we are introduced to a galaxy controlled by the Republic, a failing government led by corrupt bureaucrats. The Jedi, once the keepers of peace and justice in the galaxy, are now simply the Republic's attack dogs, following the demands of the Republic rather than the will of the Force. The Sith, on the other hand, who are believed to have been defeated over 1,000 years ago, have secretly been growing in power and seek to undermine the Jedi and take over the galaxy. This sets the stage for Palpatine's ascent to power and sets into motion the events which will lead to the Clone Wars, the focus of the prequel trilogy. Now, I won't explain the prequel trilogy as most of you have likely seen it. If not, well, why the hell are you watching this video? A prominent Jedi by the name of Anakin Skywalker, destined to destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force, is a successful general in the Clone Wars. Though, like most citizens in the Republic, he is becoming more and more aware of the problems with both the Republic and the Jedi Order. Now, to understand why the Sith succeeded, you have to understand the problems with the Jedi in the first place. The Jedi Order had become extremely hypocritical in both their code and morals. Their code was largely oppressive, not allowing its members to care for anyone and restricting basic emotions. They justify this by saying it's the path to the dark side, yet they largely don't even understand the dark side, as very few living Jedi have ever witnessed or experienced it. Anakin multiple times is told to ignore or cover up his emotions in difficult times, such as Ahsoka's trial and his visions of Padme's death, because ignoring your problems always fixes them. The Jedi attempt to stamp out anything they perceive as being the dark side, the most obvious being the Separatist alliance led by Sith Lord Count Dooku. This led the Jedi to lose many of their morals by becoming soldiers of the Republic and following orders from politicians rather than protecting the Republic's citizens. Just look up the Republic committing war crimes in Star Wars and multiple videos will show up, most of them at least 5 minutes in length, so you get the drift. Ultimately, since they were so tied up in the war, the Jedi lost sight of who they were and became clouded by the dark side. Not only did this make it easy for Order 66 to wipe out the Jedi, but it also made it easy for Emperor Palpatine to turn the galaxy against them. The Jedi, mainly Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, and Mace Windu, all lost Anakin Skywalker to the dark side by treating him like a slave. Final nail in the coffin was when they asked him to spy on Palpatine, who was a close friend to Anakin. Not only did this deeply bother Anakin, but it was the perfect opportunity for Palpatine to manipulate Anakin, basically guaranteeing Anakin's allegiance with Palpatine, giving their prized possession to their greatest enemy. Palpatine successfully manipulated Anakin into obedience, and used him as an attack dog to finish off the Jedi. So just like that, 10,000 Jedi Knights were quickly reduced to 100. Luke Skywalker from birth was supposed to complete the mission 10,000 Jedi Knights failed at. No biggie. This is mainly because Luke is their only remaining option, and likely because Obi-Wan even believes Luke is the chosen one.
Tell me, is it the chosen one?
He is.
Now, Luke has many characteristics that are similar to Anakin. He's extremely loyal, courageous, and heroic, while also being slightly overconfident, hot-headed, and impatient. The main area Luke is different in is his extremely strong willpower. Luke fights to the end for what he believes in, even if he's going against Obi-Wan and Yoda when they tell him to abandon his friends and his father. While Obi-Wan and Yoda still follow the old beliefs, such as there's no more goodness in those who join the dark side, and he must defeat them, Luke still sees the good in his father. But Luke often makes brash decisions and runs into conflicts blind, which is why in all 3 original trilogy movies, Luke gets rescued by someone, whether it's Han Solo in A New Hope, Leia in Empire, or Anakin in Return of the Jedi. Luke's faith in his friends is one of the factors which leads to their victory. His attachments to his friends could lead to the dark side, like it did with his father, and we even see glimpses of this at times. But Luke avoids being overtaken by fear and learns how to control his emotions rather than avoiding them, like Yoda taught Anakin. Luke's humanity, which likely was influenced by how much he cared for his friends, saved Anakin Skywalker. In their final battle, we see glimpses of everything I just mentioned. Luke's overconfidence in defeating the Emperor, his impatience when igniting his lightsaber, and a glimpse of anger when Vader mentions Leia turning to the dark side. But we also see Luke's resolve and growing character as he realizes soon after cutting Vader's hand off what he is becoming. Unlike the decision his father made all those years ago against Dooku, Luke chooses to face the Emperor and die as a Jedi. Funny enough, Palpatine ends up becoming the first person to call him a Jedi Master. Luke leaves all his faith in his father's goodness, which could be perceived as naive, but I believe this is a testament to his strong character. His faith ends up being correct, as his father returns from the dark side, killing both Darth Sidious and Darth Vader, bringing balance to the Force, and saving his son. His faith in his father, similar to his faith in his friends, in the end saves the Jedi, rather than defeating them in combat, which is more in tune with the Jedi way. Plus, Anakin killing the Emperor was not out of hatred, but rather to protect his son, signifying his redemption. This fits Yoda's description of a Jedi as,
"A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack."
Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you give me a nice thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and comment down below what you think. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace out.